So first time trying to go live on my iPhone. I just checked on my tablet and on a different account, and it didn't say that I'm live. Uh, so I don't know how this works. So that turns it off. I don't know what any of this stuff is. Green screen. There's the green screen. I don't need that. Huh. That's pretty cool. Hmm. All right, so that worked. So this is my first time on a, actually let me do something. heck was that? What is that loud noise? I don't get it. I think I'm being visited by extraterrestrial. This is kind of strange. If anybody knows in the comments how to get rid of that god awful noise. Well, I ain't staying on here for this. Like and subscribe. Boy, that is weird. I'm gonna shut this down if I can't get rid of that. That was my other devices. Is anybody in the comments? Do you hear that loud screeching? I'm going to go check another account on my laptop. Nope, everybody disappeared. Is anybody in the chat? One person. We're from 10 to 1, quick. They must have heard that loud screeching. What a terrible noise. Huh. Yeah, what's up, Victor? Are you still in here? I've been having some difficulties. Yeah, it's my first time live stream on cell phone. I just got my 50 subscribers. Um, Hold on, I've got the laptop up. So there was some loud screeching. I tried to turn on a tablet and make sure this. Yeah, I'm about to hit some weights. I'll be right back. Oh, thanks for the like and the subscribe. You work out too, Victor? Yep, so what I've got going on here is this is my first live stream on my cell phone. The past 2 nights. Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, so I'm 44. It's something you could work on, you know, if you, I'm sure you know that. Probably no dummy. My experience, I'm 44. I could show pictures, you know, I've had the abs, nice arms. I've been everywhere from 315 down to 218. Last year I dropped 60 pounds. And the minute I broke my diet, I packed on the weight like 2 to 3 pounds a day. So I think it's true when people say, I don't know, how old are you? I just turned 44. I'm 6 foot. So I've noticed since I hit about 40, metabolism shot. So like last year I lost 60 pounds in about 3 or 4 months, but I quit eating quite, you know, I would order a salad at lunch and I wouldn't eat after work. Like first break, a 12-hour shift, I'd eat an apple and get some Metamucil fiber. And then second break, I would do my lunch and run and grab a salad with some chicken or salmon. So I did sports in school, but since I hit my about 40, I think I've got what they're calling insulin resistance. So I was raised with bad diet, drinking Coca-Cola and eating pizza. It caught up with me. So that caught up with me when I've hit my 40s. I'd say I'm probably pre-diabetic. I haven't been checked out, but my body's trapping anything I eat. Yeah, it's been bouncing around. I've seen 10 down to 1. Yeah, thanks, Victor. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get a little set started. I figured it's my first night live streaming on my cell phone. And I'll hit some sets in between and just talk to people. It's good to meet you, Victor. Yeah, I'll go ahead and got it pretty light right now. This is a pretty nice weight set. Normally I do calisthenics. I've got monkey bars, pull-up bar, dip bars all built outside. This weight set's inside. So hey DJ. Oh man, I've been working out since I wrestled in junior high, so That goes back to middle school. I'm 44, so I'd say 30 plus years. Problem is now getting in my 40s, I think I'm insulin resistant. So, dieting's huge. I'd say dieting's 75 to 80% of it. And staying active. Want to add a little more weight. Oh no, no judo. Just wrestling back in school. I wish I would have got in judo or jiu-jitsu, or I took taekwondo first, second, and third grade, and then I switched over to wrestling in school. But I wish I would have did that. Most times when I work 12-hour shifts, so it doesn't leave much time. I come home from work, go for a run, pull-ups, push-ups, dips, mostly. This weight set, I'm trying to get back into it because it's a nice weight set and I barely touch it. Oh dang, Victor, 18, that's a good age. 244. So I'm in the United States. I'm not too, I struggle with the metric system without asking Siri. So height wise, like I said, I'm 6 foot. Do you know how tall you are in feet? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, sorry, I don't know right offhand. I know a meter is somewhere around 3 feet. But yeah, normally when I work, I'm on unemployment right now. So I've got an interview Friday, and it's another 12-hour shift. Last job I was at, I was 6 years there, maintenance. So yeah, it's good to meet you guys, Victor and DJ. Thanks for stopping in. I told Victor this is my first night live stream on my cell phone. Okay, 5'3". Yeah, I get you, bro. I'm sure that is pretty heavy weight for that height. So right now I'm 6 foot tall, 280 pounds, and I've been stuck at 280. Last year I got down to 218, and then football came on, and by I'd say by Christmas I was already creeping back up around 250. So if you've got insulin resistance, I would look heavily into that, battling that before it becomes diabetes. Dr. Bird, he's pretty good. And the way he describes it, if you can look down and see your belly, you're probably insulin resistant. So your body's not converting the sugar like it should. It's storing it as fat. Who's my team? Well, it's right there on my shirt. Team Jesus. Christian for the most part. That's, that this channel's not really to run that down people's throats. Yeah, I'm Christian, so if people want to talk it'll get covered. I'll probably bring up Bible principles time to time, but I'm gonna hit another set real quick. I don't know if you guys see that D Bird guy. He does these, and he does his squats, his push-ups, dips, and pull-ups. He's pretty good. So those guys are a bit younger. And I'm 44. Things change as the body gets older. Ah, football, Buckeyes, brother. Who's yours? Buckeyes and Bengals. So Bengals lost Burrow, and they seem to lose their confidence whenever he's out. Yeah, Victor, you can do it, brother. Just it's man, it's discipline, and it's not easy. So my struggle, I'll just be honest. I'm not on here to hate on the women, but I can. If you saw my pictures and you knew my past, so when I get down to like the 215, 218, pretty slim waist, muscles, good looking arms, abs. So I'll attract, it seems like, a certain type of female. And so those females come along, which is great. I love a nice female, companionship, somebody, you know. But the problem is they kind of knock me off track, and I let that happen. That's on me. I need to work on that. So a lot of them have better metabolism, or they don't eat much. So they'll want to hang out and watch a movie, get pizza, and then my exercises start to slip, and slowly the weight comes on. I think my last ex, she said, "Wow, I can't believe how quick it comes back, and all that work you put in." Yeah, those 12-hour shifts bring good checks. So eating becomes a problem. And I'm not lying. Like, with insulin resistance, you really can't eat much. So I'll go through phases where I'll enjoy it for a little while, and then I gotta fight to get it back off. So I love pizza, junk food, you know. I also like the healthy stuff, but it gets old after a while. Steaks and salmon and salads. Minute I break my diet to that weight comes right back on. What happened to you, Victor? Just the weight keeps coming back quick. It seemed so last year. I called it, I dialed it in, and I remember telling the girl at work I need to write a book because I was dropping like 2 to 3 pounds a day, but I was dialed in on my diet. So I wasn't drinking anything sugar. In the morning, I would get up and have a half glass of sugar-free cranberry juice. I'd squeeze a half a lemon, half a lime, a little bit of honey, and some apple cider vinegar. And then I'd fill it up with water, and I'd I'd stir it up a whole cup, drink it, and head to work. Yeah, I had that fitness. So I paid the $100 on my iPhone to get a macro tracker. And for me, I continued to gain weight going off of the macro tracker. And I think once you get insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, and diabetic, you really gotta, they say 2,000 calories. I really think you gotta stay under that from personal experience, because I continue to gain a pound or two a day. It don't seem like much, but when that pound or two a day turns into 2 months, that's 60 pounds in 2 months just for 1 pound. So really got to get in a major deficit, and I struggle now being in my 40s with the intensity. When I was young in 20s, I'd run hard, and but the older you get, you realize you're wearing and tearing your body. So I try to keep a balance on it all, and I continue to gain weight like that. This is the first night on here. I'll try to figure out some better exercises. Show more of this weight set. It's actually a pretty nice weight set. It's so big it takes up the whole room. I'm in Ohio. Victor, where are you from? Yeah, cardio. So that's what I was getting at. So I I drank that last year, and then first break I would have an apple. I'd take Metamucil fiber pills, 3 of those capsules. Drank plenty of water at work. And second break, I would take my lunch, run and grab a salad. And I noticed I've lost the most weight with, they had an apple walnut salad. And they used apple vinaigrette. And I think the vinegar in that vinaigrette helped my digestion with the salmon and stuff. So, and then I would eat grapefruit later on in the day before I left work, and that was it. If I ate at night, it was a couple hard-boiled eggs, maybe a handful of blueberries, blackberries, and I did lose 60 pounds about 3 months. Problem was I didn't stick to it. All right, Victor. Hey, thanks for stopping in. I should be on here. I don't know. I have an interview Friday, so not sure how much I'll be on. If they allow overtime, I'll be in there cranking out that money. So it's good to meet you, Victor. Have a good night. So cardio, DJ, if you're still in here, my cardio was, that was my eating habits at work, and I would come home, I'd get cleaned up, and I would run. Every day I'd run laps around the perimeter. Started with like 3 laps, got up to 5 or 6. And then I would jump rope. So I'd build up to that, 5 or 6 laps on the run. I would jump rope. I'd do my calisthenics outside, and then I would do hard sprints. I guess you call it HIIT. High intense interval training. I'd do my HIIT. I'd run hard sprints across the yard. Yeah, now that helped me. That's a good point. The steps is pretty valuable. That helped me a lot. So I've been off work, and I think I was getting 20 to 30,000 steps at work. Yeah, well, you're right. Yeah, there's a older guy. He's probably in his 60s or 70s. Something, they call him something Santa. You type in fitness Santa or something, you'll probably see him, but he recommends not to run. He says that that's too much of a shock to your system. He recommends walking. Getting a good walk in every day. So that to me that's what I would do. I would do my run, I'd do my jump rope, I'd hit some hard sprints while I was doing my pull-ups and push-ups, and then when I was done, I would walk. Pretty fast pace. Walk for about an hour, and I loved it. I'd get up almost every day and check the scales, and I'd lose. And like I said, I told the woman, Lisa, at work, I said I should write a book on how to lose weight, because I dropped it quick. And then football came on, and it turned into pizza. Buckeyes had a great season. Buckeyes had a pretty great season. Next thing you know, I'm going out for Mexican with my dad, and the diet just tumbled. So now I'm trying to get back on the grind. It's not getting any easier so how old are you, DJ? It doesn't get any easier the older you get. It's good to get the habit. I'm gonna add a little more weight to this. I started pretty light. Okay. Late 30s. Yeah. I was for me, I know everybody's different. You got to figure out yourself and what works for you. Um, Late 30s, I was still doing pretty good dieting. I could still eat pretty good, but once I always heard once you go over 40, and it's not a myth. Um, I noticed pretty quick. I'd start to feel pains, and like my waist just continues to blow up. Hit me a set real quick. It's good to meet you, DJ. I'm glad you stopped in. I love calisthenics, so I gotta kind of force myself to do weights. But I really like to get back into it. I really like doing pull-ups outside, and to me it's therapeutic. It's a good peace of mind to be out there and just kind of do a set. And powerlifting and judo, dang. Probably not too many people mess around with you then. That'd be a bad way to go. Combining strength and judo. Yeah, I've heard people say don't use the bands, that they're bad. I've bought the bands, and I think the bands are the way to go when you're overweight. And like me, I can do pull-ups, but heck, I'm weighing 280, so I'm not doing that many, and I think that hurts me because I need more reps to burn more calories and burn more weight. So I think those people on YouTube, when you type in starting doing pull-ups and they're telling you not to buy the bands, the giant rubber bands, I think they're giving bad advice, because they'll show you how they do them, and they weigh about 200 pounds, and they'll crank out 10, 15, 20 of them. But when you're overweight, you need those reps. There's, so. So I'm 44. My 20s, I wasn't on the best path in life. I spent most of my 20s in prison, but I'm not going to, I'll share that. To me, it's my testimony. I'll share it if people want to know, but it's not really what I'm bringing it up for. So in prison, when they would have, when they struggled like that, they'd always have a partner, and they'd help each other. So they'd grab them by the waist and they'd help assist them. So same concept with the bands. I've heard the military's the same way. They help build each other up. So yeah, the pull-ups, all you gotta do is YouTube somebody doing pull-ups, and if they're doing 20 pull-ups, they're in pretty good shape. Yeah, I've seen a couple overweight guys that's really strong, but I'd say personally, with my body, the best shape I've ever been. Yeah, you're right. That's great for grip strength and building yourself up at first. And they call them negatives, where they'll pull up and then they'll just slowly drop down on the negative, and that helps also. Or if you could find like a lower parallel bar where you kind of kick your feet out underneath of it and just do an angle, pulling with your feet kicked out, kind of inverted, if you know what I'm trying to describe. But yeah, hanging on the bar, I always do that actually. They say it's good for your spine. That's what I do before I do any exercise, pull-ups. I'll hang on the bar, and they say it helps your posture and helps straighten your spine out and build your strength at the same time. So, like me, right now I'm struggling to do 4 or 5 at 280 pounds. But like last year, once I dropped down to 218, now it's a lot less weight. And the strength was always there. But honestly, if you looked at my pictures in my phone, the best shape I was ever in. My shoulders were pretty ripped. I had the abs, the chest. I was only doing push-ups. I would do, yeah, thanks. It's good to hear that motivation. Yeah, I try not to ever, I don't know, stuff just feels off if I quit working out, especially the walks. I like going for walks, and I just, I, I really don't stop. Like my dad said, oh, you're so strong. I was like, yeah, because even when I'm 280, I'm still hitting my push-ups. People at work struggled to lift stuff, they'd come and grab me and joke around, tell me I was Incredible Hulk, stuff like that. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but the fact that I never stopped, even when I'm out of shape and overweight, the strength is still there. It's nice in life to keep your strength up. But back to the push-ups, that by far was the best I ever looked. I did do legs here and there, but it was mainly just push-ups. I do regular push-ups, diamonds. I had like a little 3-step painter's ladder. I put my feet up, and so feet's up here, pushing up from the ground, and that was really it. And that was the best shape I've ever been in. That was probably 35. I'll show people at work every once in a while, and they're like, damn, you just ripped up. And it's like, yeah, and all I was doing was push-ups. I wasn't hitting weights. I wasn't doing pull-ups. So I've got so much equipment now, it's hard for me just to go back and do nothing but push-ups. But really, they was extremely valuable. All right, I did some weights, so I'm going to hit another set real quick. I don't know how long I'll be on here. So, this is actually a really nice weight set. I should probably get better at getting on here and showing different exercises. I don't think it was worth the money. Yeah, you're right. Bicycle. Now, see, you brought up a great point. So back then I had a truck, and I was working 45 minutes away. Motor in the truck went out, and I lost that job. So I took a job on the next road over. It was decent, still decent ways, but I bought a bike. You're right. So that's a good point on the push-ups. I was biking it, and they bike through wind and hills. I was biking it back and forth to work. And that was a physical job, non-stop bending over. We'd have to unload a rack within a shift every 2 minutes, I think, minute and a half. And we unloaded about 30 parts, and that was bending over into these giant plastic totes. So it was pretty non-stop physical job. And then the biking and push-ups. Yeah, I've seen the e-bikes too. I thought about getting one of those. E-bike it over to a nice trail and then turn off the battery part of it and just physically pedal at that point. It's probably not on the plan. Fall and winter's right around the corner now. But biking's great, walking's great. It's all great. Just got to get in motion. For me, it's discouraging because of the diet. I just really can't eat anything. I've got to eat like a bird. Yeah. Yeah, Roger. Yeah, that just, man, that stuff wears on you though. It's like, then I took my next job and we would load cardboard in a box maker, and I would grab, so the way the machine ran, the more you could grab and lift, the slower your pace would be. If you could only grab a handful of cardboard and load it in, you was going to be nonstop trying to keep up. So I would grab, a big armful. I think I could grab between 80 to 90, because it's 75 of the stack, and I'd add on more. I'd grab about 80 to 90 cardboard boxes. And yeah, it was good lifting, but it beat the crap out of my shoulder. I think it wore out the cartilage in my shoulder over time with 12-hour shifts and all that overtime. And then I would ride to work and my fingers would hurt. And so it's all a balance. It's just about anything you do in life. You got to find that happy medium and balance to it all. But yeah. Yeah, you're right. See, I can tell you know your stuff. Because my dad went and visited Ukraine, and he said exactly what you're saying. I've looked into it too over time, and I saw that they don't allow. He said in Ukraine, this was 10 years ago. He said, they don't allow all that junk we have over here on their shelves. That's like poison. It's like to them, they don't even allow any of that on their shelves. Yeah, I don't know if so you said you do judo and stuff. I don't know if you know Patty Pimblett, Patty the Batty. He's probably a lot similar to me. You'll see him pack on weight and blow up quick. And then he's in ridiculous shape when it's fight time. He's ripped up. So I know they had interviewed him between a couple of his fights and asked him how he kept the weight off. He said he didn't visit America in his time off that time. So he kept a lot of the weight off. We've got so much processed junk, and then your body kind of gets used to it over the years. And yeah, I've seen the doctors talk about it too. So they say even like our fruits and veggies and stuff, the way they're trying to speed grow everything, and the meat's not right. They're slaughtering stuff while it's not even fully developed just to keep it on the shelves, and it's turning into a bad scene with the food. Normally, if I get meat, I try to go to a local butcher shop. So how long you been doing the judo? I wish I had time. I've told people before. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool you mentioned that. Actually, I've kind of thought of like, okay. Yeah, so how's that work? Is that like Taekwondo? Like with the different belts? But back to the Mediterranean, I've kind of thought over the years, being in America, it'd almost be nice to be in a country like Iceland out by all the ocean, water, and seafood. And it seems appealing, but you don't know until you're actually living there. So, yeah. So what belt you worked yourself up to? They probably have quite a few also. I'm gonna hit another set real quick. Trying to keep it a little bit light on the reps. I try to get more reps, but then heck, you see guys like Sam Solik, he's a freaking animal, and I just don't know. He's so young, you don't know what type of effect that's going to have on his body, especially internal organs, liver and kidney and all that stuff. Black belt, 10 years, congratulations. It's a pretty great achievement. I've often said I wish if I had like if I was Powerball winner or something, that's the type of stuff I'd want to do. Martial arts and exercise and make new equipment and out chopping wood. Yeah, it really wasn't that long ago. People was struggling hard for food. I think that's hurting us too with our genetics. We're in a shift now, these generations now, where we're seeing the effects of it. Food's pretty plentiful, and it's all this freaking junk. A lot of times at the store, I've heard people say if you want to eat healthy, just stay on the outside of the store, the perimeter, where all the meats and veggies and stuff are. Don't even check out those inner aisles because it's nothing but trash. And they're right for the most part, unless you go down like frozen veggies aisle or something like that. But yeah, I'll probably get a better system here with these workouts too. Try to get a better angle of this weight set. This is a pretty nice weight set actually, but can do a lot with it. You can do legs and squats and curls, and it's got the chin up thing back there, but I mainly do my pull-ups outside. I like to be outside. Thanks for subscribing. Let me know if you or anybody else happen to see this and they want trying to get subscribers. I keep a notepad. I'll write down the name and subscribe when I cut this live stream off. So when it comes to that Mediterranean food, what was like some of your favorite dishes? I don't know a whole lot about it. I buy salmon, sometimes tilapia. I stick to the salmon mostly. Okay. Yep. Whitefish, so tilapia. Cod, probably. I like fish. I'm not gonna lie to me, I get a little burnt out. I'll be pretty disciplined for a few months, and football's tough on me. Especially when the winter hits. In Ohio, we get some pretty cold winters, so. Just trying to look back. I know you and Victor were telling me where you were from. So Victor said he was from Chicago. I don't know if... So where are you at now? Yeah, they say with that pizza, you get that lethargic, and I've seen it at work. We'd have, especially last year when I was on that hardcore diet. Okay. Yeah. Oh, so you don't have to, at least you kind of have that Bay Area weather working for you. Ohio, we got to deal with the real short days in the winter, and then I'd say 5 months are not ideal to be sweating and losing weight. So my body just seems to trap it in. And the pizza, so yeah, you're right. That pizza is just super heavy with sodium and carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is the enemy, really. Sugar and carbs. They say you need it for energy, but when you're overweight, that fat's energy. So it's almost like you gotta override your mind and reprogram it to quit telling yourself, I need food, I need energy, I need sugar, I need energy, I need carbs, I need energy, because you're storing it. Um, I'd say me being 280, I'm probably 30% body fat. So my body could eat off, and they say it's a more pure form of energy when you've tapped into your fat reserves. Okay, cool. You're in the, yeah, that's great. They say that helps reset your system when you fast like that, and even if it's just a water fast, or it's actually, you probably did yourself a favor. I did a 3 day 2 months ago. I don't know why I stopped. I need to probably once a month hit a 3 day fast. It helps just cleanse your system. And Dr. Bird, I watch a lot of his videos. He talks about a lot of that stuff, especially if you're suspected insulin resistance. So, like he described, if you want to know if you're insulin resistance, look down. If you see your belly, you're insulin resistant. So it's best to research it and start trying to combat it, because it's only going to get worse. So it runs in the genes, I'm pretty sure, too, quite a bit on metabolism. So my aunt, she was diabetic. She ended up having her legs removed, and then she ended up having a heart attack shortly after that, watching a Buckeye game. And I have an uncle, he just passed away. He was diabetic. Yeah, that diabetes is no joke. So it starts as insulin resistance, and then you hit, and that's hard to detect. So you may see a doctor and they're telling you don't have anything wrong. There's special tests they have to check to even find that out. Something to look into if you haven't. Insulin resistance. So that's like the first stage. Your body's not converting the sugar like it should and start storing it. You start packing it on in the gut and waste. And then you hit pre-diabetic. And then after that, you're going to hit, I think, was it type A or type B or I think it's type A or type B diabetes. And that's scary stuff once you full-blown diabetic. Just watch some videos of people on dialysis and trying to get moving for you. You mean just, yeah, jump rope, they say, is one of the best things. Like you said, walking, I'd say, if you wanted to map it all out, I'd say walking would be number one. Because you know, when you start getting insulin resistance and pre-diabetes, you start getting tingling in your toes and your fingers, and that's a pretty solid sign. Cali Muscle, I know he had his heart attack, and if you see him versus how he was 5 or 10 years ago, he was massive muscle. And then he had his heart attack, and he said early signs he was getting was tingly toes. Maybe your mouth, tongue, something doesn't taste right or feels off. Almost, they call it like a metallic taste. But the biggest thing is going to be tingling in your toes. So at that point, you're starting to get nerve damage. And that's the sugars in your bloods causing problems. I noticed last year when I got down to 218, a lot of that tingling was going away. I should have freaking stayed on my discipline. I'm pretty upset with myself for that. You'd think with judo, how many times a week do you do your judo? Do another set real quick. Probably add some more weight. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'd say 2 to 3 times a week. What type of work do you do? Like you said earlier, that's a pretty big factor, the type of work you do. That's why I always kind of avoided office jobs and semi driving. We need them and they're valuable jobs, but I know my metabolism and I know sitting in that semi is going to get boring. And I'm the type that would like to eat a bag of chips or drink a soda. So it's best for me to that's why I think maintenance works really good for me. That's I get to learn and help people and work on stuff and stay moving on my feet. Okay. Yeah, technically I would be maintenance technician, so yeah. So you get to move around quite a bit then, or I know technicians are kind of a broad term nowadays. You didn't used to hear of techs that much, but they use them for a lot now. Add a little more weight on here. Like even now I got my water. I try to squeeze some half a lemon in it from time to time, get vitamin C. Okay. Yeah, I hate to sit on here and blame I don't know how your experience is with the women, but to me, they've been a pretty big downfall to me over the years whenever I do get in shape. I need to get better. Staying focused and it's a tough balance, man, because they want to hang out and watch movies and a lot. Not all of them. If you're lucky, you can find one that's into fitness and health and stuff. But a lot of them, they want to hang out and watch Netflix and watch movies and sit around on their cell phone, and they've got it all: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, and just I need to kind of just leave them to it and tell them from the beginning I'm staying focused. I'm staying on my diet. I'm staying on my workout. What do you mean by we have it easy? You talking about with the software tech, the work, or you talking about life in general? Everybody seems like a lot of people, as long as they got their cell phone bill paid, that's about all they care about. I don't have Netflix. Nothing against it. I don't have that type of stuff. Yeah, life. Yeah, kind of thought that's what you meant. As soon as I read it and thought about it, yeah, you're right. We do, especially America. We've got it. Yeah, and that stuff's freaking programmed into you. Like every time I watch football now, you're seeing all these different advertisements for all this junk food. It's like, it's pure junk. You rarely see anything thrown up about some fruits and veggies and salads and then you're going to pay more. You go and try to get the organic or the healthier versions of stuff. You're going to pay even more money. Sometimes a couple dollars on each item that you're throwing in the cart. But I don't mind as long as I'm working overtime getting stuff that's a little more healthy. Yeah, I'm glad you stopped in here, DJ. It's been pretty good chopping it up with you. I wasn't sure how it would go. I know it's probably, I'm a YouTuber myself, so I scroll and I see everything going on. There's some pretty entertaining stuff going on, so I appreciate you stopping in here and just hanging out and talking like you have. I'm excited. For me, this is helping too. This trying to do this live stream, and it's giving me a pastime, something other than eating. I'd say 75-80% diet. You gotta battle it, man. Find something, keep you occupied, something to keep you moving. Yeah, it's life. That's why I do the Team Jesus. I've seen a lot of truth the older I get in the Bible principles. Like I said, this channel isn't to run it down anybody's throats, but when you actually learn the principles, they don't really steer you in any wrong direction. It's like even eating and overindulging, that's all considered sinful in nature. So, and it's not good to be a glutton or sloth. You know, you're going to reap what you sow when you start living like that. And judge a tree by the fruit it bears. Yeah, but that's the plan. I'll keep streaming, and I've been pretty blessed since I've turned my life around and working the maintenance and house projects. I'm really doing what I at heart like to do, exercising. Yeah, good luck to you, man. That it can all be turned around. Like I said, heck, it seems like a lot, but like last year I lose 60 pounds. And I mean, if you could even lose 2 pounds a day, just think about that. 2 pounds a day for 30 days in a month, you just lost 60 pounds. So I'm not gonna lie, I've self-sabotaged a few times. I don't know. Yeah, I'll try. You too, man. It's been great talking to you. And some people don't view it as positive. I'm glad you kind of feeling the vibe, because some people view it as being down or negative, and they're more narcissistic at that point. They're living for the quick dopamine shot, you know, all that overconfidence and ego and stuff. So life, God, all that's humbled me quite a bit over the years. This is positive. Some people just, it's an uncomfortable truth, elephant in the room for some people. They don't want to face the demons. But I've learned it's best to go to war with them. Some of them's pretty crafty. Yeah, it says we got 3 of you in here, so I'm glad some people showed up tonight. I'll work on getting a better angle and a better situation too for this weight set. It's probably about pathetic workout, anybody watching it. I'm just doing, so I worked out earlier too. When I woke up, I went for a run, did my jump rope, and hit some push-ups outside. I'll probably do legs tomorrow. This was all extra sets. I wanted to get on here and see if I could meet some people and hit some sets in between the night. So it's probably about time to wind this down here in the next, probably I'd say about 4. I'm gonna shut this down. Cool. Sounds good, brother. Hey, you have a good night, man. It's good to meet you. So, God bless you too, man. Take care. almost tried to get me. About dropped down on me. Tried to add 20 more pounds. About took my shoulders out. Oh. Yeah, I'll hang out just a little bit longer, see if anybody else drops in. That'll be it for me for the night. It's been cool meeting some people. I don't know what any of these features are. I should practice around with them. I don't know. I don't need the green screen. Microphone. I got one viewer. It's probably a good time for me to go ahead and shut her down for tonight. Yeah, one viewer, that's probably my laptop, so I'm gonna go ahead and get on off of here. See how this goes.